Hello and welcome to joe.english.tutor23. This is my channel to help you to learn English today. In this video, we're going to talk about actions we can do with our body, talking about head, shoulders, not knees and toes. So let's start logically at the top with the head. What can you do with your head? You can nod. So here I am nodding. So in England, we use nodding to indicate that you are in agreement with something. It means yes. The opposite of nodding, shaking your head. I am shaking my head right now. I don't agree. I disagree. It means no. So shaking your head is this action. But when you're cold, you also shake. Your body shakes. It shivers. It shivers when you're cold. So moving on to the face, moving away from the head to the face, starting with the eyes. In English, we say, I can see. Seeing is the ability to use your eyes. I can see. I can see you right now. Looking is about observing. I am looking away. It's not so much about the ability, but the action. I am looking in that direction through the window. Then in English, we also have watching. Watching is about observing an object. Usually that's moving, some action happening. So you watch a film, the television. You watch people walking around. What else can you do with your eyes? You can close your eyes. So now I can't see. I'm not looking at anything because I can't see. Open your eyes. I just open my eyes. But if I'm scared, I might cover my eyes. When the scary thing has gone, I can uncover my eyes. Next, moving on to what your eyes or eyelids can do. You can close one eyelid whilst keeping the other one open, like that. That is called winking. In England, we use winking to show that we're having fun, that we're being a bit cheeky, maybe that we're flirting with someone. If we wink with two eyes, like that, we don't call it winking, but we call it blinking. So we naturally blink when our eyes are a bit dry. So we blink like that. Finally, what else might you do with your eyes? You might roll your eyes. You might roll your eyes if someone says something maybe immature. You might roll your eyes like, what are you talking about? Like, how old are you? Moving on to the nose. What can you do with your nose? You can stick your finger in your nose, which is called picking your nose. Avoid that. So you often pick your nose if you've got something inside your nose, like a bogey. We would call it a bogey, the little green thing inside your nose. If that's the case, you should get a tissue and blow your nose. You should blow your nose with a tissue. Next, if something smells in the house or in a restaurant, you might pinch your nose. You're pinching your nose, or even covering your nose. I'm covering my nose. But maybe if the smell is quite nice, you smell. So smelling is the ability to smell. Like seeing is the ability to see. Smelling happens quite passively. But this might be called smelling, but also sniffing. You can also sniff if you have a bit of a cold and your nose is runny. If you've got a runny nose, you might sniff. Now moving down to the mouth. What can you do with your mouth? Again, if you're ill, you can cough. You can cough. Otherwise, that's called sneezing. I sneeze if I've got a cold. And if you're tired, that's called yawning. I yawn when I'm tired and need to go to bed. What time is it? But something that's important, especially when you yawn, is to cover your mouth. In England, it's seen as quite impolite if you yawn and you have your mouth wide open, similarly to chewing. That's chewing. When you eat, you chew. If you chew with your mouth wide open, seen as impolite, you need to chew with your mouth closed. And similarly, cover your mouth when you're yawning. And what are some obvious things you can do with your mouth? You can speak, you can talk, you can say things, you can tell stories. But what's the difference between the four? Let's group them into say and tell, speak and talk. So first of all, say and tell. Tell us more about talking directly to someone, and it follows an object. So Joe told the class a story. She told me about her day. Say, on the other hand, can be used with indirect or direct speech. She said, I don't like him. She said that her weekend went terribly. Speak and talk, on the other hand, are fairly interchangeable. Speak is a bit more formal and can often be used when talking about languages you speak or talking in more general terms. Joe speaks French. He is speaking to the camera. You can speak if you do that quietly. Hi, how are you? What do you do at the weekend? I am whispering. Whispering is talking quietly to someone. So someone might whisper at the cinema or in class, where if you get caught speaking, you might get in trouble or people might not be happy about it. Another verb related to talking is when people are talking about other people. It's called gossiping. When you're spreading rumors about people, you gossip. Or if you talk about the latest trends or relationships between people, it's called gossiping. If you don't like gossiping, or if someone's talking loudly, you can also or someone talking in a library, you want them to be quiet or stop talking about that subject, you shush them. Shush. Or be quiet. You can also la 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 la. You can also sing or talk really loudly. Oi! You're shouting. Shouting is talking loudly. You can also scream, which I won't do, which is usually a higher pitched shout if you're scared. So if someone frightens you, you might go, you might scream. Next, you can kiss. Kiss. That is called kissing between two people. Or you can blow a kiss. We call that blowing a kiss. You kiss your hand and you blow the kiss to them. So remember, we talked about chewing or chewing with your mouth open. You can also bite. So you bite your food so that you can chew it. Or probably not with all food, stuff like ice cream, or dogs do the same thing. Cats as well, they lick. That's called licking with your tongue. Lastly, you can obviously also drink. You drink something. Or if you drink slowly, you sip a little bit. That's if you have a little bit to drink at a time. Sip, you sip a drink. Or if it's hot, you might sip your coffee. Moving on to the ears now. So your ears can hear, the ability to hear things. You might hear a noise, but you might listen. So that's actively hearing. You're trying to hear what someone is saying. You are listening to them. Are you listening to me? But what about if you're in a cafe and you're trying to listen in on a conversation someone's having? You could say listen in, or we can also say to eavesdrop. To eavesdrop is about listening to what someone is saying. So you're eavesdropping. Eavesdropping, that's listening in on a conversation. But if you don't want to hear what someone's saying, you might cover your ears. So you cover your eyes, you also cover your ears, or uncover. Or in extreme situations when the noise is really loud, you might put your fingers or stick your fingers in your ears. I am putting my fingers in my ears. I have stuck my fingers in my ears. So what's next? What's next to your shoulders? What can you do with your shoulders? You can lift your shoulders up and down. That's called shrugging. I am shrugging my shoulders. Like when I don't know the answer to something. I don't know. Also something that's common these days, people on their phones, they're leaning forward, they're slouching. I am slouching at the moment. Not good. Moving on to the last one. Hands, arms. So this is your hand. So the first thing I can do with my hand is wave like that, or the Queen might wave like this, to wave. Next, if something is on a table, on a surface, you might pick it up. So lifting an object, grabbing hold of it and lifting an object so you have it in your hands, you pick it up. To pick up, you need to grab or take hold. You can grab something like some kitchen roll. When you grab it and you don't let go, you hold. So I'm holding the kitchen roll in my hand. If I hold onto it with all my strength and crush the kitchen roll, that's called squeezing. To squeeze like this is to squeeze. So you might squeeze a lemon. So if you want to put lemon on your fish, you squeeze a lemon. Another action where you can squeeze, in a sense, hug. So to hug someone, you might bear hug them, which would be to hug them and squeeze tight, or you can just hug them like a normal person. What else can you do with your hands or even your arms? You can catch. That's called catching. This action is throwing, to throw. I might throw the marker pen to you or at you. So throw to is in order for you to catch. Throw at is in your direction. And what's this? So you do it in the morning, at night. You brush your teeth. Hopefully not with a marker pen, but with a toothbrush. And what about with your hair? People I don't think do it so much anymore, but you can comb your hair or brush your hair. You comb your hair with a comb, you brush your hair typically with a brush. Now imagine this is the newest iPhone. You can type a message on your phone, or you might type on a laptop, on a computer, on a typewriter if you really want. Similarly to squeeze, you can pinch. So that's getting your thumb and your finger and squeezing them together That's called pinching. So you might pinch somebody's arm. Also, you can flick. You can flick somebody. So you can flick him in the head if he's annoying you. You can also scratch. So if you have an itch, you might scratch. Also, you might rub. So you might rub some cream into your skin. This is called rubbing. Rubbing. A similar action, but usually with animals, you stroke. So this is called stroking. So you might stroke your cat, you might stroke your dog, maybe even a snake. I don't know what you're into. Then you can tickle. So someone might be ticklish. I'm sometimes ticklish. So there you have it. That's the end of the video. I hope you found it useful. Remember to like and subscribe to my channel. See you the next one.